Hello everybody. We decided to cook the longest hot dog. It will take us 100 hours to make it. So, day 1. Let's start with some homemade suluguni cheese. Pour 5 liters of homemade milk into a saucepan. Nothing will come out of the store. Now add citric acid to a small amount of water. Exactly 16 grams, and stir it so that it dissolves in the water. Pour that into the cold milk. You can put this back on the stove. So here you really need to use a thermometer. No, you need to heat the milk to 32 degrees and use some special components for cheese, an enzyme, and a starter culture. Pour the starter into the surface of the milk, mix after a minute, and maintain 32 degrees, and wait for 45 minutes. Now you'll need the enzyme. Pour it into 50 milliliters of water. When everything is dissolved, pour it into the milk. Mix well from the bottom up for 1 minute. Cover with the lid, and an hour later, a cheesecloth formed. Cut it into cubes. And mix it. Cheesemakers call these pieces grain. We set the minimum heat and bring the serum to 37 degrees. We set the cheese mold in the tray and put it on a bag. That's it, let's go back to the pot. Now we need to catch all the grain from the whey. And put it into a mold. We bend the bag inside and cover it all with a wooden disc. It's time to put the cheese under the press. And squeeze out all the excess whey. Done. We take it out of the form. So far, this is the only preparation for suluguni cheese. After 5 hours, it should be lowered into hot water. It will heat up and become more elastic. We spread it with our hands until it completely melts. We stretch the entire cheese mass on the sides and pour it into a ball. Thanks to this, the cheese will be layered like the original suluguni. We put it back into the mold and press it a little bit. Now we just need to salt it. Add a lot of salt to the already cold whey and stir it so that it dissolves. Leave the suluguni cheese in overnight. Day 2. During the night, the cheese became thoroughly salted and it can be taken out of the mold. It turned out just fine. Next in line, we have a hefty 8-kilogram brisket. This is the breast part of marbled beef. We open it up. There is a lot of excess fat here, so we definitely cut it off. and we turn it over onto the other side. And there's even more fat here. That's it, the brisket is clean. That's how much pure fat turned out. Today we will only marinate the brisket. To do this, we need American mustard. Just smear it onto the meat. We will also rub the other side. We send a mixture of peppers into the mortar and rub them. Done. Also add a lot of salt, smoked paprika, and dry garlic. Mix all the spices and sprinkle the brisket. We cover it with cling film and let it marinate in the fridge for 2 whole days. Well, let's go to the sausages. We'll need a natural shell. We cut off 1.5 meters, throw it into a bowl, and fill it with water. Beef, pork, and brisket fat are needed from the meat. We cut all the meat into cubes so that it is convenient to dump them into the meat grinder. Now we need to pack the meat grinder itself. We transfer all the meat into a saucer, turn on the meat grinder, and twist it. We're left with minced meat. For juiciness, you need to add 350 milliliters of milk. Also add a tablespoon of nitrite salt, black pepper, dry garlic, and mix your ground meat well. All the milk has interfered with the stuffing. Now we put it into a blender. And turn it into an emulsion. For convenience, we'll put this in a cooking bag. And now you can fill the shell. In the end, we tie it up, and we're left with 1.5 meter snake. We twist every 15 centimeters so that the sausages are all of normal size. Turn the oven to convection mode and set 60 degrees. We send the sausage to the grill, and the first stage of cooking begins, drying. They should dry out within 10 minutes. Now the second stage is baking. We stick a thermometer inside one of the sausages, set the oven to 90 degrees, and wait until there are 58 degrees inside the sausages. The third stage is steaming. Therefore, pour some hot water into the baking tray from below. And close the oven. While the sausages are cooking, we'll prepare a smokehouse on the street. We fill the wood chips into the smoke generator and close the lid. The pipe through which the smoke will go, we start in the smokehouse. Turn on the compressor and ignite those chips. The sausages are 68 degrees inside, which means they're ready. We take them out and put them into the cold smoked smokehouse. Our sausages will be smoked all day. Well, you can get them out. And they're completely smoked. Day 3. We'll marinate some jalapeno peppers. To begin with, we cut them into rings. We put the saucepan with water on the stove, add a tablespoon of sugar, the same amount of salt, and mix. That's it, you can send the peppers into the boiling water. For sourness, add some vinegar. And after about 10 minutes, they're ready. You can put them into a jar. And pour the brine on top. Our pickled jalapeno peppers are ready. For the sauce, we're going to rub our homemade suluguni cheese in advance. Done and grated. So, cut off a piece of butter and put it into the saucepan. Flour will be used as a thickener. Mix. Pour in all this milk. As soon as the sauce begins to thicken, add the grated cheese. For a beautiful color, add a couple drops of orange dye and mix again. The finished sauce is poured into the saucepan. After cooling, the sauce will thicken even more. We're going to also make some homemade ketchup. To do this, cut some tomatoes. Put them into a saucepan. Put it on the stove. Cover with the lid and simmer for 15 minutes. The tomatoes have become much softer. Now with the help of a blender, we interrupt them. We're left with a very liquid mass. It needs to be wiped through a sieve to get rid of the cake. Pour the resulting tomato juice into the saucepan. Add brown sugar, salt, and a big bit of vinegar. Now you just need to reduce this mass a lot. Since the tomatoes were not red enough, we'll add a little bit of dye. There we go, our ketchup is ready. Pour this into a sauce cup. For today, all we have left is the buns. I'll use some live yeast. Add sugar, milk, and hot water. Stir to make the yeast work faster. Now pour in the flour. Add salt. And put it all to be kneaded in a mixer. Now it just needs 40 grams of butter. And a good mixing. Our dough is ready. After proofing, we cut it into 4 parts. Form buns. And spread it on a baking sheet. Beat 1 egg. And wash the buns. That's it, we'll send them into the oven. And after half an hour, the buns are ready. We will make an incision for the filling in advance. So the last fourth day, I even had to get up early to light the grill. We distribute the coals and throw on a whole raw log, which will give smoke for a very long time. Our brisket has already been thoroughly marinated. We send it into the smoker. It will be smoked for the next 11 hours. Smoke has already come off the log, which means that the process has started. We will maintain a temperature of about 110 to 120 degrees. We also need to make a mixture for spraying. Fill half of the bottle with cognac and the other half with apple juice. And screw on the spray gun. Our brisket has already turned golden. So that it doesn't dry out, we spray it every hour. Each time it becomes more golden. By the way, periodically you need to add coals, and this process is very long. We continue to spray. After 11 hours, it's become almost black. This is what we need. We spread some parchment onto the table. We need 4 wide sheets. We take the brisket out of the smoker. Spread it onto the parchment and wrap it tightly. Then we return it to the grill. Here it'll be cooked for another 3 hours, and in the thickest spot we insert a thermometer. By the way, sausages have to go through the final stage. We put them into a foil container, sprinkle some brown sugar on top, pour in a good barbecue sauce, add cubes of butter, and thrown into the smoker. When the butter and sugar dissolve, the glaze will be turned out, so we lubricate the sausage with it. So the temperature inside the brisket has reached 97 degrees, and so it's ready to be done. The sausages too. In my opinion, the sausages turned out just perfect. Let's check out the brisket. We shift it onto a cutting board and cut it in half. Oh yeah, it's very juicy. Let's cut it into slices. Now we just need to take a piece of suluguli cheese, roll it first in flour, then in egg, then in breadcrumbs. Then we send it into the fryer. Literally 30 seconds and we take it out. We're left with a very crispy battered cheese. All of our products are prepared. Let's finally collect our 100-hour hot dog. So we take a bun, cut off a piece of brisket without fat, put it inside. Now our fried cheese, pickled jalapeno peppers, smoked glazed sausage, homemade ketchup, cheese sauce, and that's it. This mega long hot dog is finally ready. Let's try it now. Whoa, this is a rich taste. I've never eaten a more meaty piece of meat than a brisket before, and it's also super smoky. The sausage is similar in texture to the expensive one from the store, but we know for sure that it is made of high-quality products, and the rest of the ingredients complement all this just perfectly. Write in the comments what else I can cook in 100 hours, and give this video your likes. Of course, subscribe to the channel. Bye everybody!